And now we're at my favorite part of the show. Oh boy. It's time for the Auspicious Op-Ed number 41. Predictive Programming, Animated, Retrospective, Esoteric Takes, Dominion Tank Police. So, you might think we're living in a prequel of a prequel if you were to take a peek at the Dominion universe from the 1985 manga and beyond in the OAVs. We're going to take a deeper look at our 4-part OAV series that serves as a prequel to the classic manga series Dominion Tank Police, originally released during 1988 and 1989, to better analyze and compare its predictive programming elements to what we have witnessed on our current real-world timeline. At the time of this OAV's release, this story takes place in the not-too-distant future on a highly polluted Earth that just so happens to be ravaged by a world that has fallen prey to crimes of high science and fallout from heavy political corruption. This sounds a little bit like the journey the powers that be have been trying to take us on against our wills, while they try to scapegoat us for their foolish ventures, doesn't it? Yeah, I thought so too. I have included links to enjoy Dominion Tank Police, New Dominion Tank Police, and Tank SWAT 01 right here on YouTube for free in the description box. So please be sure to check those out and see what you think about all of this for yourself. And let's get on with what I noticed and what leads me to believe that this is more than mere science fiction or anime. This is an interesting framework for further understanding of how future visions fall prey to dystopian degradation. These days, some of our main concerns throughout the collectives I serve is all the spraying, weather modification, genetic modification, biotech, biowarfare, and frequency warfare, just to name a few conditions that we deal with currently on Earth that all could easily lead to the conditions that are shown in Dominion Tank Police. Bacteria clouds are so bad in this universe and have lasted so long that the population, for the most part, has adapted to the conditions over time. But some healthy people do remain, and they have to live in quarantine under a doctor's care who researches the unadapted population. Crimes against science led to these conditions. Science leaving the confines of good ethics and reasonability led to crimes against science. Crimes against science are the primary catalyst of dystopian conditions from all fronts in this universe. Due to unbearable air quality, the people who inhabit the metropolis of Newport City are forced to wear oxygen masks when outside. The OAV's first act opens with the police chief arguing with the mayor over the pros and cons of having the tank police active. Crime, corruption, and the tank police's virtues or lack thereof are the main talking points of their debate. In arguments with the previous mayor, he comments in the introduction that tanks are insufficient for keeping the peace and would prefer replacing their current weaponry with tactical nukes, though it is unclear how seriously this is meant to be taken, just to give you some idea of how far downhill civilization went from similar conditions to what we're seeing signs of currently. Human hybrids, inorganic life in the form of biotech androids, and healthy people who must live in quarantine as research captives are all commonplace in Newport City. A small group of very interesting civil servants have made it their life's work to police such an environment. Independent, determined, and self-made are all adjectives that come to mind when looking at our main characters in the Tank Police. Our heroes may appear a bit questionable with practices like their interrogation game show they put on together, where corruption meets coping as they torment those being questioned while under arrest. But you can tell that when push comes to shove, they want to do the right thing in the end. These scenes are as thought-provoking as they are emotional. The super criminal the Tank Police was formed to fight, Buaku, specializes in bank robbery and general mayhem. He leads a gang, but appears to be backed by unknown individuals. Buaku's true origins are unclear, but what we do know is that Buaku was apparently a test dummy or prototype for the Greenpeace Crowlist project, who escaped destruction when government agents raided the lab and destroyed everything except for encoded data disguised as a new portrait of himself. Buaku, who accompanied by two android twins called the Puma Sisters, tries to capture a top-secret government project that applies a plant's biology to humans' genome, allowing for self-oxygenation. In doing so, he hopes to prevent the establishment from forcibly changing the human race instead of solving the pollution issue. Anna and Uni are a pair of android catgirls who were created as love dolls to be marketed for profit, but they developed beyond this superficial programming and became criminals, joining forces with Buaku. They are vastly superior to humans in terms of strength, agility, speed, and ability to take damage. They also have what seems to be the equivalent of military-grade targeting computers. The Red Commandos are a private army of mercenaries employed by the research facilities for security and seem to give the tank police as much trouble as they give Buaku, Anna, and Uni. The tank police are set on putting a stop to Buaku using brute military force, hence the tanks. In part 1 of the OAV, Buaku's goal is to retrieve urine samples from a mysterious go-between for the unseen crime boss, Mr. Big. The tank police thwarted his plans but are unable to arrest him, and then in part 2, he tries to receive the encoded data from the Greenpeace experiment, which is on display at a local auction house in Newport City. The top secret urine samples were for a research project regarding healthy people uncontaminated by the bacterial cloud. The doctor in charge lets it slip that the patients are essentially prisoners and are subjected to this research under government orders. He is more willing to speak on the research of the organ functions that these samples provide than the underlying purpose for the applications of the research of the results of such research. These healthy organic humans who did not adapt to the cloud were all held against their will as research specimens with no other options. Connections to intelligence and weapons dealers are required for the criminals working with Buaku to make any headway infiltrating such a facility, which truly makes us wonder what type of state their healthcare structure fell into during such a scenario. Expanding plates of bioplastic, bioballs, and other bioweaponry advancements are also commonly developed and manufactured by the same entities who research the healthy people and develop humanoids in many forms. The criminals of this universe have very interesting hybridized biotech weapons that were developed through a fusion of biomechanics and inorganic life created in research facilities, mixed with practices and intent normally associated with factory manufactured material goods and their associated markets. Intersections of morality and interest, as well as ethics and progress, serve as excellent plot drivers throughout all 4 acts. Mechanics of oppression and control appear to be at the very core of all primary concerns in this dystopian setting. Genetically modified, hybridized, and biotech fused life forms of all varieties, especially the research and development processes required to procure such manufacturing capabilities, appear to be the road to the future in their universe, much like ours. The research that the criminals are after is used for the development of humanoid life forms. Those involved in this process see themselves as transhumanist gods, when in reality they're no different than the mad scientists of today that should be brought up on crimes of high science, like in this universe. These advanced hybridized android bionoid creatures have reached a place in their species evolution that they must compete for pay and survival against the human population, irregardless of their developed and manufactured roots. Empathy and communication between the two species is fascinating, considering a heavy focus on abnormal psychology combined with biometric data appear to be the primary drivers of the developers of these transhumanist projects. Scientific crimes against the state are connected to the development of Buaku and other androids like him. Buaku was the result of attempts at developing a humanoid driven by artificial intelligence for far less than noble means. Top all of this off with Leona Bonaparte and the rest of the tank police as an incredibly wabi-sabi allegory for the human spirit to counterbalance all that darkness, and you end up with this mindful little gem that may give us some insight on future possibilities that should contain practices that they're doing now, if they should just go on indefinitely or what have you.